What's going on, JW Faction? My name is Josh Williamson. So for this video recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a homemade version of my favorite snack of all time, which is flavor blasted goldfish crackers. Very easy to make, they don't take that much time to make, and they taste amazing, so let's get started. So to start this recipe off, I'm grating 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, and yes, I really recommend that you grate your own cheese for this instead of using a pre-grated bag, because it's a lot better when you grate it by yourself. Next, in a food processor, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of celery salt, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and half a teaspoon of paprika. And what we want to do now is put the lid on the food processor and blitz it until everything is combined. Then add that shredded cheese and blitz until combined. Then add 2 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter cut into cubes, and then blitz that until combined. And the last thing we need to add to complete this dough is 4 to 5 tablespoons of very cold water. I'm only going to add them 1 tablespoon at a time, and then just mix after every addition. This is what the dough should look like. I ended up adding about 5 tablespoons of the water. It's going to be a bit crumbly, but it will come together, I promise you. Now, I put the dough on my counter. I didn't put any flour down yet because I'm not rolling it out yet. But I'm just going to form it all together into a ball. Now I've wrapped the dough ball in plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Alright, after you refrigerated your dough, put some flour on your countertop, and then put the dough down, and put some flour on your rolling pin as well. And then what you want to do now is just roll it out as thin as you can get it. Like at least 1/8 of an inch thick. You want it to be very, very thin. Otherwise, if they were too thick, they wouldn't get crispy. Now it's time to cut them into fish shapes. Now I got this particular cutter for goldfish crackers from Amazon for a really cheap price. Now these are slightly bigger than the original goldfish are. And this particular cutter would be a better fit for the size of them. But as you see, it bent to oblivion while it was in the dishwasher, so I'm going to be throwing that away. I'm going to be using this instead. It's a much better cutter. And I'm just going to press down, and then you'll get your goldfish shapes. I'll just have to take those out later. If you have some leftover dough, just bunch it back together and roll it out again and cut some more crackers out. And also, if you don't want to get a goldfish cutter like I have, you can just cut it into any shapes you want. If you want just little squares, that's fine. And this next step that I'm doing is totally optional. You don't need to do it, but to give the goldfish crackers a smiley face, I like to take the bottom end of a skewer, then poke a hole for the eye, and then take a spoon, and then put it across right there for the mouth. And there you go. And lastly, I'm going to sprinkle the top of every single one of them with salt. Then I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius, for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until they turn a golden brown color and they're nice and crispy. This is what the crackers will look like when they're done baking. Now just let them cool on the pan for about 10 minutes before we move on to the next step. And they're actually done right now. After they're done cooling completely, you can just eat them as they are if you want regular goldfish. But I'm going to be making these flavor blasted. Now we're going to coat these in a cheese powder. Now in this bowl, I have some cheddar cheese powder. There's no specific amount. And I got this cheese powder from Amazon if you want to get it. But anyways, pour all the crackers that you have into the bowl, and then what you want to do is just shake to coat every single one of them. And I definitely used too much right there. Alright, our flavor blasted goldfish is done. Like I said, really easy to make, doesn't take that much time, and it tastes amazing. Let me try one of these just so you can hear the crunch. They don't taste the exact same as the store-bought flavor blasted goldfish, but they do have more of a real cheese flavor than the store-bought ones do. I kind of teeter on which one I prefer between those two, but if I'm in the mood for something different, I'm going to get these. But in general, I usually will just buy them from the store. But if you try these, leave in the comment section down below and tell me what you thought, whether you liked it or you hated it. If you liked this video, thumb it up. Hates you, thumb it down. And be sure to subscribe and become a member of the JW Faction on a journey to 10,000 subscribers. God loves you. See you later.